So I wanted to get on here today and talk about a few things, particularly, a friend of mine. Well, I guess I would start by saying, regarding my Supreme Court case that I had against the Sheriff's Department in Hamilton County, Indiana, as well as the judge, both prosecutors, and the commissioner there. It went through the process. Many people don't know, but I'm still trying to get out here and let everybody know the corruption that this Title 4D is heavily involved in. I mean, corruption to the highest levels. In May, we finally got a decision back from the Supreme Court, and of course, which I was kind of uncertain, but we know now, they denied my writ of certiorari. And the thing of it is, they didn't even give an excuse, so with me and my team, we went searching around, we deal with other attorneys that are retired and don't have anything to really prove to the bar and whatnot, so they're really not living in fear like 90% of these attorneys are. And essentially, what we found out was that when they deny it without giving an answer, it really would break the status quo of what they've been doing, which is the corruption pretty much. Because when we presented them with the writ of certiorari, we mentioned in there actually what is considered well-settled law, a law they wrote, which is Turner versus Rogers, which essentially spells out that they are required to give you a hearing before they incarcerate you or take any monies from you at all, would extract any property from you at all. So we finally got that answer back in May, and they denied it. My friend of mine, who I won't say his name, he also just got his back, and his also mentioned the Turner versus Rogers hearing that was never given at all. And they also just denied his last Monday, which again, you explain to me how they can deny a law that they themselves wrote. If that does not explain to you the corruption, then I don't know what does. So we're back at the drawing board because again, there's multiple avenues that you can take to skin a cat. We're gonna keep the fight going to expose family court for what it really is. It's all about money. It's all about bonds. It's all about them attempting to take your estate from you without giving you due process. In my 5-year journey since I've been studying law and the logistics of it, the ups and downs of it, the mental psyche of it, I have learned a lot, and my team have been a strong force in supporting me, also teaching me, and they're right there with me. You know who you are, you four in Hamilton County who incarcerated me in 2017, 2020, and 2021. And I'll say this before I go, I was online messing around a couple of months ago, and I happened to see my name up under WRTV Channel 8 in Indianapolis. So I tapped on it, and it pulled it up, and here it was. The day after they denied my writ of certiorari with the Supreme Court, they immediately placed it on the news to try to shame me, because quite a few people know me in Indianapolis. They tried to shame me. So I've been on a campaign to put their name out there also and let people know who they are and that they're not following the Constitution, even though they're supposed to, but at the same time, even though they're operating under admiralty law and admiralty jurisdiction. It was ironic what the news said. It was said that I was incarcerated for failure to pay child support, but I can tell anybody that's watching this right now, that's not true. The incarceration in 2017 was because I had demanded my right to subrogation, which would have given me all the rights of a living flesh and blood man, which also would have given me rights to the securities that case holds. The incarceration in 2020, the same thing. I demanded my right to subrogation. They continued to ignore me as if I said nothing to them at all, and tried to come back and continue talking about why I'm failing to pay child support when they knew in fact I was not failing to pay child support. I was paying it. The last one was in 2021 when I had filed a de novo review, which was based on federal fact regarding the illegalities of child support, and a judge there is there to look at the facts of the case, and that's everything that de novo review had in it based on federal law. He completely ignored it, had it right there by his side on the bench, claimed that he didn't get it in time and he couldn't look at it, but we were going to discuss the child support while we were there. And I told him, we're not talking about child support until you address my de novo review and all the other paperwork that I have filed prior to me coming to this hearing. He repeatedly threatened me and told me to sit down, and if I kept on talking about him reviewing that de novo review, he was going to incarcerate me for 6 months. So being me, I told him I have a right for my paperwork to be heard. And he explained to me, I told you, don't say anything like I'm a child or something like that, or I'm just some dummy that don't know my rights at this point. And he said for me not answering to the court's business and listening to what I said, people, court's business, that he was going to give me 90 days, actually 6 months in jail for failure to pay child support. But that's not what it was about. It was because I got smart with him and would not go along with their corruption. So, that's what the third one was about. So anybody out there watching thinking this is another deadbeat dad, you're wrong. This fight is going to continue. I'm going to continue to give updates on what's going on, and continuously expose all of them in this county, all of them, every last one of them, especially the sheriff who I had emailed when I was incarcerated and told him that they were violating my constitutional rights. And we all know a sheriff is a constitutional officer. He can remove any of them if he wanted to, as well as get with them and let them know that they are breaking the law. Here recently, I have been filing more paperwork to get my mandated administrative hearing, which also will outline all the facts and all the due process errors that have been placed on me since this whole thing has been going on. And they continue to strike my filings from the record. And we know, or anybody who knows in law, he can do whatever he wants to do, but he's not allowed to do it constitutionally. The individuals that I'm speaking of, Michael Cassetti, Amy Mars, who is now Amy Crider, Christy Smith, Catherine Berry. I'm even go so far as to say the clerk, Kathy Creed Richardson. And also in Johnson County, Lisa L. Lancaster and Scott Kenneth Moore, or Kenneth Moore Scott, whatever he keeps on calling himself when he tries to mail my paperwork back to me. They're trying to avoid this at all costs because they know what they have done to me. And they're denying me my remedy because they know a case is there. So again, I'm going to keep everybody updated on what's going on and continue to expose this corrupt cartel, is what I call them, crime organization that are just absolutely ruining people's damn lives. Through the grace of God, I've been able to get back on my feet from when they did incarcerate me, and all my people work with me as far as all the monies that I have out there, and what have you, to where my life would not be totally ruined. So again, I thank everybody for listening. If you watched it, again, there's going to be updates. If you need help just to talk or anything you need a question about regarding, child support and Title 4D and child support enforcement, I mean, I welcome anybody to contact me, because some point along the line, we've got to stop this, pull together, and put a stop to this mess. People are being incarcerated over civil matters, and that's not allowed. It's actually called a bill of attainder. They're incarcerating you and punishing you without a jury trial under local legislation, under statutes and codes which are not law. So again, I thank everybody for watching and for listening. And again, I'll be getting back with everybody. Thanks.